Hi everyone, welcome to Social and Astrology channel. I am Sam. Today is October 1st, 2023, 6:42 p.m. Eastern Time. In this video, I want to talk about the four main branches of astrology. Today, there are many branches of astrology, however, they can all be categorized under one of these four main branches. The first one is called mundane astrology. Mundane means world. So, as the name suggests, mundane astrology means the astrology of the world. This is the oldest branch of astrology and deals with the astrology of the whole nation or even the natural events like earthquake or flooding, volcanoes, etc. Today, many astrologers use this astrology to predict like political issues like revolutions or war and or peace and situations that uh, it's not targeted towards an individual but a large group of people. So, in one sentence, we can say mundane astrology is the astrology of the collective rather than the astrology of the individual. The second branch of astrology is called natal astrology. Natal means birth. So, the natal astrology is about the individual. So by knowing the exact date and time of the birth of the individual and also the location, an astrologer can cast a chart for the individual and make certain assumptions about the life events they will go through, or about an overall psychological profile of that particular individual. The oldest natal chart that have been recovered belongs to 500 BC to certain individual who lived in Iran during the Achaemenid Empire. So it is safe to assume that around that time the natal astrology has emerged, because as I already mentioned, in ancient time, like before 500 BC, astrology was more focused towards the astrology of the nation or mundane astrology. The third branch of astrology is called electional astrology. Electional astrology is to pick an auspicious time in the future to begin certain projects. The idea is that anything that can have a definite beginning can have a birth chart or natal chart. So astrologers would take advantage of this, and then they look into the planetary alignment in the future and then pick a certain date and certain time, a specific time, to say that this is a good time to start that particular project depending on which planets are more prominent at that time. For instance, if you want to get married, you can ask an astrologer to cast an electional chart for marriage, and you can give them your time frame. For instance, you can say, I want to get married within the next 6 months. The astrologers would go through the ephemeris that shows the planetary alignment in the future, and would suggest a date depending on the nature of the planets. For instance, for marriage, it's very important that Venus to be like very in good condition and very prominent in that chart, because Venus signifies marriage and love and relationship, and also the seventh house, and also the moon and the ascendant. The moon and ascendant should be good in every single electional astrology chart, but depending on the topic, then certain, like for marriage, Venus should be very prominent. For let's say something that is about like sport, like Mars should be in a very good position. For like start writing a book, Mercury, which deals with the mind and the language and writing, should be in a very good position. Astrologers have been using this type of astrology since the ancient time or medieval time, especially to like suggest a auspicious time to the king to begin certain things. For instance, even they founded certain cities using this type of astrology. For instance, the city of Baghdad was actually had a very famous electional chart, and there were a group of Iranian astrologers such as Nobakht and Mashallah, who in the 8th century they casted the chart for the founding of the city of Baghdad. For them, it was very important that that city to become a center for knowledge and for like higher education and book writing and book translations and stuff like that. So what they did, they placed Jupiter on the ascendant of the foundation chart in the sign of Sagittarius, which is a very strong position for Jupiter. And that exactly what happened. Like for centuries, Baghdad was the hub of knowledge and had the biggest library in the world, and became a center for like higher knowledge, especially like including astrology. The fourth branch of astrology is called Hori astrology. Hori astrology is about asking a question at a certain time and then finding the answer by casting a chart and looking at the arrangement of the planets at the moment that the astrologer received the question and understand the question. So it is more like a divination. It's more like tarot or I Ching or Hafez reading in Iran. Like in different cultures, people use different mediums to get the esoteric answer for their questions. For instance, in Iran, they open Hafez book, and they believe that like the page that turn up would deliver the message, like the answer to them. That way, this branch of astrology is a bit different from other branches because it's more about casting the chart for a question rather than casting a chart for the inception of an event or the birth of an individual or the birth of a nation. This type of astrology was developed later in around 8th century AD in Iran, and one of the best texts that has survived has been written by Sahl ibn Bashr Tabaristani in 8th century. The book has been recently translated by Benjamin Dykes. I have a copy of it. The original text actually was in Arabic because that was the time that Iran was colonized by Arabs, so Iranian astrologers wrote almost all of their works in Arabic. To sum up, there are four main branches of astrology: mundane astrology, natal astrology, election astrology, and Hori astrology. As I mentioned earlier, there are too many more branches of astrology, which I will cover in future videos. I hope this video was helpful. Bye for now.